Da, 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 da. There you go. Here I am taking a picture of us starting the show.
There you go. I love it.
All right.
Well,
Selfie time.
we're back.
We're back.
Another week, another show of Eat, Talk, Repeat. We're down a man.
Yeah, he's traveling the world as he does.
It's okay.
So we're keeping the home fires burning.
Someone's got to do it.
Yes.
So let's get into it. I'm Ash Watkins, the Hamburguesa Principesa of Las Vegas. And John?
What did I call myself last week?
Something borderline obscene. I was like, that word is
The
interesting.
mendacious mastication
Yes, I think
maven
so.
or something like
Yeah,
that, or the misanthropic maven of mastication.
I think that was it.
That was it. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, John Curtis, at John Curtis on Instagram. I had a Joe Biden moment right there.
You did.
Oh, I
Oof.
did. Ooh, oof. And then and at Eating Las Vegas on Twitter. And I am working on an Italian thing for my website. I'm going to do a rundown of the 15 restaurants I went to we hit about 20 restaurants in 15 days in Italy.
We
So,
might have to go through a few rapid fire at the end. I think
Yeah.
one of our YouTube viewers
right.
had questions. A
About
loyal
it-
fan,
about Italy? Okay. And we had some good comments this week.
I know. Look at us go.
Yeah, I gored an ox there on that one guy. He says, "Well, I used to like the show, but now I don't like the show anymore because you're being nasty to people."
I know. Welcome to
my
the internet.
It's my brand, sir. Come on.
He is the grumpy gastronome.
Yeah, I'm nice. People will tune out.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. I forgot. I'm at Ash the Attorney on all platforms. And you know what my Joe Biden moment has been recently? Putting on suit coats, like blazers.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll get one arm in and then I just
It's
keep.
like, where's
Where
the
the
other
other-
one?
yeah.
It's back there somewhere.
And I always, I feel bad. But, okay. And again, like, follow, subscribe to the show. Leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, now YouTube. And then also message the socials. We'll get to you.
We're getting. I love the people that write in with comments. I mean, it's great. I mean,
Yes.
even if you just are pissed off and want to piss on us, go right ahead.
Yes, and email us, cheers at eattalkrepeat.com. So we love all the comments. We'll get to a bunch of them at the end, I promise. It's
It's a good day for that.
It's a good day for that. When
Okay.
Sam's away,
Yeah.
the comments will play. And we've got a lot of food news.
You first.
Well, I'm going to steal some of your headlines.
Okay.
And you can fill in the blanks. Seagulls buys Piero's.
Yeah. And I have been contacted on, I'm sworn to secrecy by a couple of people, old pros in the Italian restaurant game, who have asked me my opinion, and two different people who I think they may know each other, but they're from opposite sides of the Italian food spectrum. Have asked me what I thought about them going over to Piero's.
Seagulls.
Seagulls.
Yes.
To Seagulls. To the Seagull new Piero's bought by Seagulls. And I told them both I thought it was a good idea because I think Piero's has the potential to do with its brand what the Golden Steer did with its brand. I mean, with an infusion of money and some creativity, not too much, but an adherence to maybe a higher level of Italian faithfulness in the cooking and less convention-oriented Italian-American slop. I think Piero's could reclaim some former glory. So I advised them both to, go for it. And they think Seagull's going to put some money into the place. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, the one fellow told me, he said, I went there recently, and he goes, everything smells musty, even the food.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. They just need to start steam clean the whole place.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
get Stanley Steamer in there first.
and probably redesign the interior. I mean, like the Golden Steer, keep some things that make it iconic, but don't change too much. Just and make the food better, which won't be that. It's not a big leap. Okay. That's a low bar to jump at Piero's.
Yeah,
Okay?
I think you're 100% right. I've only eaten at Piero's once, was not a fan, but I get what you're saying. It's how many times do you read articles of Vegas lore or even the movies of old school mobsters, and it all involves Piero's.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, well, fingers crossed that it takes a turn for the better. It can't, like you said, can't get worse, really. Other headlines, 1228 Maine.
Yeah.
Summer hours.
Oh, is that what they're calling it now?
I think they did this last year too.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I have a few friends. Speaking of getting pissed off, I have several friends who have a love-hate relationship with 1228 Maine.
Really?
And one of the reasons is the constantly fluctuating hours. You know.
Well, I know that's the upside. So the downside is there's no dinner service. The upside is every day, they're open 8 to 3 p.m.
8 to 3. Well, it used to be 7:30. Then they changed on weekends, and then they had brunch that went to 1:30. I mean, it's been very confusing for the last year or so. And go there for breakfast and lunch. That's it.
Yeah.
That's probably what it should be all the time. Okay?
I don't know. They had some good dinner dishes.
Yeah, I know.
That chicken pot pie.
Yeah.
Then they were putting on a nice spaghetti. Like I liked their dinner.
But I get a lot of complaints. I got a lot of people talking in this ear about the service there.
Service.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, dozens of people. I'm not exaggerating this. I mean, yes, I exaggerate.
Yeah.
That's also my brand. Just ask my wife. But I'm not. I've heard dozens of times from different people, and I always consider the source. And some of these people are not the complaining types.
Yeah.
I've got a few friends like that they're never happy, but they're like, oh my God, the attitude with the people behind the thing. That you never know who your waiter is. Oh, there's every time I go there, it's a completely different staff. People disappear, and then 15 minutes later, I haven't seen them. And I've heard that a lot. So I've never had bad service there.
Yeah.
Maybe slow service here.
I was going to say I've had slow service. I've never had bad service, but again, I'm there all the time, so I think I get a little bit of regular favoritism.
Yeah, you get the bump.
Yeah, I get a little bit of more attention on that front. But look, 8 to 3 p.m. daily. Also, look, they do a lot of classes now. They're doing bread and pastry classes. They do cocktail classes. I think a lot of people should go.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I mean,
they're all kind. They're food events too. I mean,
Yes.
like about doing different things. You just the reason I got distracted is because
John, we do cameras now. You got to keep.
I can't do that. Okay. Oh, do you want me to talk about Evan taking out the $1.5 million loan?
We kind of touched on it.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean,
yeah.
I think that's kind of what everyone assumed. We didn't have clarity, but Dad found out about the loan and the fraud and fired Evan, and that's, I mean, allegedly,
and I've heard allegedly also from other insiders that Dad knew exactly what Evan was doing, and this is a pitch battle between Dad's new wife and stepson,
Yes.
Evan. So I think that's what it is. So I said this last week. Withhold judgment on this melodrama, folks, because it's a family feud, and how it plays out, nobody knows right now.
No one knows.
Yeah.
But back to 1228 Maine. I posted a video about a smash burger wedged inside of a croissant. And I am trying to get 1228 Maine to do this for me.
First of all, a smash burger doesn't fit inside a croissant.
Those are fatter.
Is a crescent-shaped pastry made with butter and flour.
I know, but
it's not made to sandwich a burger meat.
But these croissants at 1228 are a little wider. I think they could house a burger patty.
One or
two.
Or maybe a crescent-shaped burger patty. A little.
Okay, if they want to get special, I just wonder if I walk in there and I go, I want the smash burger, but substitute a croissant instead of the bun. What they're going to do to me.
Sky maintenance broad right here. Okay.
You're going to be jealous when I get it done.
Here's what you should do. Walk in and order a burger with
and a croissant.
And a bun. See, can I have the burger? No bun. Oh, yes, ma'am. Sure, here it is. Now I want a croissant. Now slice a croissant in half. Make your own friggin' burger.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that.
And take a picture of it.
I will. I will. Okay. You mentioned there was Resorts World Shakeups. Do you know what those are?
Well, Bart Mahoney,
Oh.
the executive VP, who has opened the place, and one of the real pros of food and beverage in up and down the strip. Been there for a long since it opened, and I like Bart. He's been at Caesars. He's had several high-level positions up and down the strip, and he was unceremoniously let go. And some people have opined to me, again off the record, that he was part of that. Part of the thing where they got fined for that that fellow who was laundering money, and he was kind of caught up in that, and he was sort of part of that old administration that got them in trouble with gaming control.
Yes. And
that makes sense because Bart, he knows his forks, and he's a real pro restaurant guy. So I'm hearing he has several offers. He'll land someplace good, I hope.
Oh. We're looking out for Bart, where he ends up. Holsteins Burgers and Shakes.
They've got their sign up.
You've peeked in. I think you've talked to some people behind it. And
Todd Marshall. Yeah, he's the landlord.
It is now set to open on Thursday, the 29th at 4 p.m.
Of May?
Next week, yes.
I thought he told me June. Oh, wow. So they're opening up sooner.
Yeah, that's what
fantastic.
I read.
Good. I mean, it's going to be cool. It's very Main Street Provisions like inside. It's not just a quick burger place. It's going to have a long bar, cool, groovy booths along the side, and little tables. And it's going to have a pretty interesting menu too. So yeah, I think Holstein's is going to be a big hit too, and add to the vibe.
The vibe, certified.
The certified vibe downtown.
Of the Arts District, yeah. Thursday, May 29th at 4 p.m. They're opening, and then after that, every day at 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. they will be open, except Fridays and Saturdays, 11:30.
Right. Well, speaking of burgers, so Jonathan Jossel, friend of the show.
Yes, friend of the show.
President of the Plaza Hotel. So he tells me they're changing the cheese on their double. What am I doing here? Sorry.
On the Oscars burger.
Yeah. And he said making some, I think he said little slight modifications, but he asked me who won, and I had to tell him, well, probably not, your thin double-double's not winning, because it seems like the thicker patties are scoring higher on our competition than the little thin double patties. And he understood. He said, yeah, since we're talking steakhouse burgers, it makes sense that the thicker, steakier burgers are going to sort of take the lead here. So, although
that's a really good burger, and those fries, destination French fries.
Right. I think we agreed they were, in terms of all the burgers, they were in the top 3 of the French fries we tasted.
Oh, they're clear winner by far. Like anything else, like I would go to Oscars just for those steakhouse fries and the gravy boat of ketchup. And leave me alone, please. But what else? The Arts District's getting another cocktail bar.
Oh, wake me when it's over. Okay. What the fuck?
I know.
Oh, no.
I know.
How much booze can we have?
I think there's also another beer. What are they? Distillery? No. Brewery is going on. I think technically it's now called Midtown, so it's north of Charleston on Main or Commerce.
Where Sin Sin is?
Next to
Chin Chin?
Yeah, Chin Chin. Yeah. Yes, just a little south of Chin Chin by a building.
So that's going to be like 15 brew pubs down here?
Yeah.
How much beer can you drink? How come you freaking millennials? What are you, Gen Z?
I'm a millennial.
You are? I thought you were
Gen Z. No. I'm a millennial.
You're a millennial. If you're under 40, you're a millennial, right? Yes. Okay. All right.
But then if you're, what is it, under 30, you're a Zoomer, right? No. What is it? Okay, so
Lakin
95 is the cutoff for millennial and Zoomers.
Okay.
So I'm firmly in the millennial camp.
You're firmly in the millennial camp. You're not a Gen Xer. That's my wife. She's Gen X. Okay, and I'm a baby boomer. Barely.
Okay, well, regardless, we know how to drink. So
Drinking
the Arts District is...
Why don't they just call it the Booze District? Let's be honest.
I think they were trying to make it the Brewery District at one point, where they were incentivizing... all breweries to come in.
That's why they're coming. They're making it easy for brew pubs and easy for bars to get licensed down there. So good, and it creates a certain vibe, and I like it. and it also paves the way for better food. So it's all working very well right now.
Yeah, and I think for me, I like when these places come in with good food menus also.
Yeah.
Like Nevada Brew Works. I mean, for
Right.
what it's worth, they've got those great burgers and also a nice patio for my dog.
Well, it's also the rising tide raises all boats, and you look around and you can't get away with mid food,
Correct.
because the competition is so stiff.
Yeah, someone's going to go, I'm going to get
Yeah.
3 beers here and then walk across and get food there.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to maybe not even go there anymore. So the new cocktail bar is called Prowl, and it's going on Commerce Street, and it's by the people behind Stray Pirate, the tiki bar.
So it's on Commerce, which is I know.
Yeah.
Commerce runs parallel to
Main.
Main Street, right
Yes.
there, Main Street. Well, I've just gotten used to the fact that the Doberman opened. Okay, and friend of the
Yes.
show, Kathy Kelly of Taste Buzz Foodie Tours,
Mm-hmm.
has been to the Doberman and tells me we have to go to the Doberman and have their $30 cocktails.
I've heard the Doberman has a scene and a vibe that I will love.
Yeah, okay, then you pick up the check.
I
tab.
will.
Okay.
I will.
I mean,
Retired. I've been poking you on that
I'm
one.
living on a pension, just a little pension. Yeah.
But yeah, so Prowl from the people behind Stray Pirates going in on Commerce. I think it's opening in June, so next month, and it's going to have like a jungle theme.
Just to keep it going, aren't they cannibalizing their own brand? I mean, come on.
I don't think so.
I mean, that's only the block,
No,
2 blocks from Stray Pirate.
Sure, but like McDonald's, they put McDonald's right across the street from another one, and
Okay.
they do just fine.
Well,
so.
I like Stray Pirate. And we get to my pet peeve of the week. Stray Pirate I'm going to give props to Stray Pirate versus some other cocktail bars.
Uh-oh.
It's a cocktail-oriented pet peeve of the week. Yes. Just hold your horses, folks.
Gird your loins.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Food news you can use.
Yep. Caribbean Steakhouse is going in where Bazaar Meat currently is
Quickly.
at Sahara.
Pronounce his name. Kwame.
Kwame Onwuachi.
Very good. Onwuachi.
Yeah.
Onwuachi. And yeah, maroon and going where the old Bazaar Meat.
Yeah, it's going to be different. Unlike, I think, most steakhouses we have, it's not just traditional. It's going to be like
Jamaican jerk.
Yeah.
I can start talking in my Jamaican accent, man.
Steel drums. Take them.
Again.
What else? Pasta ramen. The Wafu Italian pop-up is taking up a residency at Bar Zazu in Resorts World.
Going tonight. Yes,
Yeah?
I'll be there tonight. We'll report on it next week.
I was supposed to go this week, and then I got canceled, but planning to go. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, well, it is. And wafu pasta has been a thing, Nakamura
yeah.
has been doing it here in town for well over a decade. But yeah, it's a big deal. And the Japanese somehow can do Italian pastas more interestingly than the Italians can sometimes.
Did you know what wafu means?
Wafu pasta. No. I know the name.
Yeah, I see it all the time. And
Yeah.
finally, I Googled it. And wafu means Japanese style. So when you're getting wafu Italian, you're getting Italian cuisine prepared in a Japanese style. So
with a lot of bonito flakes and
yes,
and,
like so the
and nori.
What did they have? Mochi ramen in a pepperoni miso ragu is one of the dishes.
Yeah, there you go.
A cacio e pepe gyoza.
Now that sounds interesting.
That sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So yeah, yuzu tortellini. I'm in. I can't
Yeah,
wait. So I'm curious to hear. We talked about it also last week, I think. The not so surprising closure of Cathedral.
The soulless Tao restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah, you should, don't get me started on
Hogs
Tao.
and Heifers. We also talked about it last week. They're closing, but apparently they're looking to relocate somewhere. So, John, leave them alone. The listeners want you to be nice to the little local tavern. You're getting us in
Okay.
trouble.
All right.
Okay, they're closing. Their last night of service at Hogs and Heifers is July 6th. Do you think I can get you there?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll ride my Harley over and meet you there.
Okay, perfect.
I think that's one of our letters to the editor was all mad. I just read between the lines. I think he's loved us until we gored that ox of his.
I know.
His gored his hog.
Hey, I've been.
heifer.
It's a fun time. We did some charity ride in those little. What are they called? Carmel, Vanderhall racers, and we had to do it over at Town Square. Was the ride for, I think it was like children's brain cancer.
What are they, like go-karts or something?
Basically.
Yeah.
They're street legal go-karts, 2-seaters, no roof, and a little tiny windshield. I really should have had a helmet when I was on I-15. I really should have. I was ducking, taking this thing.
Oh, you were on a real street?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So we took this. It's, is it 3 wheels? What is it? It's a 3-wheeler. We rode them for a ride for the cure for pediatric
my God.
cancer.
You want to
and then we had a few more, and then we had
yourself.
and we had a few more hours to go, and with the Vanderhalls, so we took it to Hogs and Heifers and we parked them out front.
Insane. Okay.
So I'll get you there. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Wine. We have a lot of wine fans of the show.
Really?
Yeah, winers. We got a lot of
Well,
winos.
I'm trying to get Ray Isle on the show.
I know. We'll do it.
We're going to do it. We're going to try to schedule just we won't be able to schedule him for a regular taping, but we'll get him in and do a segment that we will insert into one of our shows.
Yes.
He's the wine editor of Food and Wine magazine.
I'm excited.
And he's dying to talk to us about what millennials and Gen Zers and whatnot are doing with wine, because he thinks they're getting a bad rap. He thinks that the wine business is going to be bigger than better than ever because of the youth of today.
The youths are going to keep us afloat.
Yeah.
I know they're going non-alcoholic, which I'm curious to hear about. So that'll be interesting.
Ray knows all those little ins and outs, so he'll be a great guy to get on the show.
The sommelier Delilah, who you love and is a James Beard finalist, is hosting some sort of like a blind tasting masterclass at the Wynn on May 29th at 2:00. So if you're curious about how to kind of blind taste and handle that, do it.
Don't get me started. Blind tasting is a fool's errand.
Really?
Oh, it's a parlor trick. Yeah, I mean, it's just, true blind tastings are impossible. I mean, it's all a bunch of hype. Nobody, even the best wino people, enophiles will tell you that, the idea of, just sent to me on 2015 from the Arrayed Vineyard. No, I believe that was the South Coast. Yes, with the 5% Petit Verdot added. That's bullshit. Nobody does that. They just do that.
But that's how they get their certification.
No, they have to be able to nail some things, like a Pinot Noir from Oregon versus a Pinot Noir from France versus a Grenache from Italy.
In the year? No?
No, the years are really, really tough.
Right.
So don't believe the bullshit.
Okay, well,
about
if you
want
to do blind tasting and have an event,
but they're fun.
Do that.
No.
Yeah.
All that said,
no,
that's just curmudgeon John talking. They're a lot of fun, whether you're amateurs or pros, because everybody sits around and people are wrong way more than they're right. But it's fun to hear people go, "This has to be a Pinot Noir. Has to be a Pinot Noir." Someone goes, "Merlot." It's true, and
it really is.
It's fun to be wrong. So.
Okay, so if that sounds fun, go check it out. It's part of like Wynn's Connoisseur series.
Yeah.
You can find it online, and I think Christy Norman, for all of your grievances with her Instagram reels, she's a really engaging sommelier and wants you to enjoy drinking wine. So it would be a fun person to learn from.
We should have her on with Ray Isle.
Ooh, maybe.
That would be fun, have her in studio and have Rake. I mean, they're not going to debate. They'll probably agree more than they disagree. But it's always fun to have experts talk. Yes.
I know, not us.
As opposed to us.
Okay, last headline I have is Tres Casuelos possibly making it Dos by opening a second location.
No kidding. This I didn't. Everything else I knew about.
Oh, look at me.
Look at you on top of things. Whoa.
I'm going to dust my shoulder off. So yeah, per What Now Vegas, details aren't entirely clear, but Social Tapas Concepts has submitted paperwork for a restaurant called Trace to the city of Las Vegas. And it's for a business license and liquor license up in Summerlin, Sahara, and South Fort Apache.
All right, yeah, way out
Have
west.
you been to Tres Casuelos recently?
Not recently. I went there a lot when it opened. It somehow, I mean, I Angelo Reyes is the guy who owns it, and I apologize to him, but somehow COVID killed my vibe of going there, and it's not his fault. I used to go there a lot, and then COVID came along, and I remember trying to go, and he tried to
do the patio,
navigate all that stuff. I think we went one time, but I know I haven't been back in years. But I always love the guy, and I love the place, and he's made a go of it in a very bizarre location.
It is
right on the cusp of Chinatown there.
You know, like Polaris is
Polaris.
it was
right
by the Sand Dollar.
Right. So I mean, good for him. Good food and a fun vibe.
Certified fun vibe.
How many times can we say vibe? We should have a drinking game. Every time we say vibe,
You got to take a shot.
take a shot. Yeah. Okay.
Next week's show. That's gonna be fun.
All right.
What's your drink of choice gonna be?
What would I do for shots? Real booze?
Ooh.
What would? Let's think about this. Wouldn't be tequila.
Oh.
No. You know, it might be a really good añejo tequila though.
Okay.
You know, like
Like
a
a
real
classy, keep
real
it-
rich, or a dark rum, a really good old rum, aged rum. One of
Okay.
those two, I would choose. It wouldn't be something like, you know, vodka or shit like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I would do tequila, I think.
yeah. The more I'm thinking about it, I think a really good aged rum
Yeah.
would be
Oh.
the thing I would knock back and then get a diabetic shock, you know, after after the show.
Next week's show will be brought to you by insulin.
All right.
Quick question, and then we'll take a break. If you had, I texted you this, so you can't complain that you weren't prepared.
Yeah, you gave me 90 seconds of warning.
It's more prep than I've given you before.
Okay.
If you had to be a chef or work in a restaurant kitchen, what role would you have, and what type of cuisine would the restaurant serve?
Well, you mean a chef with more kitchen talent than I have right now? Or you just put me with a chef toque on with my
No. I'd
limited...
give you a little bit more talent.
Okay.
Like, would you want to be the like chef de cuisine? Would you want to be the saucier? Would you want to be like the final guy, like sending orders
The
out?
expediter. No,
Yeah.
no. I would be in charge of soups and sauces and stocks. That's what I would be.
Ooh.
That would be my thing. And because I'm really good at that.
Okay.
And I have worked in kitchens before. What I was terrible at was working the line, you know,
Yeah.
where the guys are, grilling like chicken breasts, fire two salmons, you know, dun, dun, dun. I mean, these guys are like octopuses, okay, and they are incredible. The people that do it in high restaurants, high and low, and they were a wonder to me. They were like superhuman. I couldn't do that. The speed. And the way they go back, you need the attention span of a housefly to do it.
Yeah.
And have to be
Adderall is not welcome in a kitchen, really.
Yeah. And the dexterity you need. I just don't.
Yeah.
I didn't have either. But I did work in a kitchen once, and they did put me in charge of, you know, collecting bones, roasting bones, things like that, getting them in soups and stuff. And I'm fascinated with sauces, so I'd be a saucier.
There
Yes.
you go.
Yeah, I can.
John
I can-
Curtis, the saucier.
Well,
I
no,
thought you'd
giant
maybe.
stock pot.
I thought maybe you'd be the like Vanku over at the Golden Steer, wheeling a cart around making Caesar salads.
Yeah, but that would get boring after a while. Yeah, I mean, when I was on my 800th Caesar salad that month, I might start getting like,
Okay.
you know,
All right.
let's put some shrimp in this. What would you be?
Oh, I'd be in charge of bread.
The bread.
I would be the baker.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with like
Yeah.
the science behind it, and I can
You
eat
know,
it all.
you know what the food gal would be? I mean, she would be great at this. Chopping the vegetables.
Oh,
she is the
mise en place, the
mise en
prep.
place, the mirepoix.
Yes.
She is the best vegetable cutter I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It takes her forever.
Okay.
But you want to get, take 5 carrots and celery and onions and into perfect dices that are all the exact same size. She's your gal. I mean,
I'm
you gotta,
calling her next time.
I mean, she'd be working 20 hours a day to keep up because she's so slow, but she's great at it.
All right. Well, that would be fun. Maybe we'll start our own little kitchen, the Eat, Talk, Repeat kitchen. We'll serve about 3 people on any given week.
Here's Alexandra cutting every tiny carrot into a dice per order.
Oh man, I get 1 loaf out a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. Okay, let's take a break. Let's talk about where we've been. You've been some interesting places.
And then we're going to go to a video and comments from our fans.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
it's very good.
right. All right.
Cheers.
Hey, Eat, Talk, Repeat listeners, it's Ash. I wanted to give a special shout out to Soul Belly Barbecue and Chef Bruce Coleman because we missed this during the taping of this week's episode. So here you go. Soul Belly is celebrating their 4-year anniversary this Sunday, May 25th, 5 to 9 p.m. on Main Street in the Arts District at Soul Belly Barbecue. It's an Asian night market theme with Chef Bruce and Marisa, with guest chefs Carice Kuwana, Lanny Chin, and Chef V, who are going to be serving up some delicious Asian fare. Ticket price is $50. That includes a sampler platter and a complimentary drink. There's going to be Suntory seltzer samples being poured. At Adam the DJ will be spinning on the patio. There's also limited barbecue for sale. It's going to be quite the anniversary party. So if you're like us and you love Soul Belly, go out Sunday, May 25th, 5 to 9 p.m. Celebrate with them, and ticket price is $50. Again, Soul Belly Barbecue this weekend, 4 years. Happy anniversary, guys. Go celebrate. And cheers from the Eat Talk Repeat crew.
I'm the best.
Personal injury law has been the same for a long time.
The best.
Big egos, greed, and sleazy schemes. We've had enough. Welcome to Sam and Ash, the new standard for personal injury law, where things are done the right way, because you deserve a team that delivers real support and results. When you have both, your whole world can change. Sam and Ash Injury Law, because you deserve what's right.
What is this? Oh, the Vanderhalls.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, hogs.
Oh, yeah. That
Hogs,
was
baby.
fun.
Where are the heifers?
Those came later. That was a fun charity event. It's a police escort.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, there we are backing them.
Those things they look dangerous.
They were.
They're tiny little cars. They're
Oh,
tiny
I was on the
little open-
15 cruising between semi trucks going, this is not safe.
How fast could you go?
I think like 80.
Oh, you can get that fast in those things?
yeah.
Oh, I thought.
And the brakes, it's 2 wheels in the front, 1 wheel in the back on these Vanderhalls. And when you have to slam on the brakes, that's a risky endeavor. You're like,
You flip it forward?
yeah. But it was really fun. So I had a great time at Hogs and Heifers. And okay, recent ventures. Where have you been?
Where haven't I been?
And a reminder from someone who messaged me to tell people what to order when we're recommending a place.
Yeah, well, it's going to be hard when I talk about Batista's
I know.
whole
Order a cab home.
Let's accentuate the positive first. Okay. I mentioned, I think last week, Food Gal and I took our friends, the Marcus boys, to Palette. And the Palette, Palette,
Yes.
on Spring Mountain Road. It's the dim sum house there. And I've been there many times. Really good dim sum. I mean, top shelf, top level dim sum. Is it the best in town? I mean, it's right up there. Okay, I'm not going to involve myself with that right now. But it's very good dim sum. But what they do have is quite a deal. They call it their. They don't call it Peking duck. I think it's their just roast duck. It's $40, but it basically is Peking duck.
What's the difference?
Well,
the preparation?
Peking duck, they basically they roast the entire duck and they break the entire duck down. And usually it's served in 2 courses. The first time, they have this ultra crispy skin and the duck meat, which you fold into pancakes or bao. And then they will usually chop up the rest of the duck meat and serve that in a pancake or put it in a soup. Sometimes it's 3 courses. So Peking duck is a big ceremony. This is just a platter they bring out for $40. That's basically really tender duck meat, from the breast, and I think 1 or 2 longs, maybe like a foot long of each of all the duck, and then layered on top is that super crispy, oily duck skin that's been just beautiful. And then they have the pancakes, a tiny thing of pancakes with the hoisin and the vegetables that you put on the pancakes. It's $40. It's enough for 4 people. It's plenty for 2 people. And you could even, if you got about 2 pancakes each for 4 people, and it's just delicious and gorgeous, and $40.
That's easy.
I mean,
that's an easy call.
Yeah, it's an easy call. I mean, so if you want to get a duck deal, go to Palette Tea Lounge. It's called Palette Tea Lounge and Dim Sum on Spring Mountain Road. So that was good. Went to Publica's. I mean, the Food Gal loves her avocado toast. And don't get me started on avocado toast, because it's one of my pet peeves, because I think it's such an overrated dish. But she's something of an aficionado of avocado toast. And her 2 favorites in town are Vesta, Vesta does a
yes.
fabulous one. And they slice the avocado. They have a certain dressing on it, and it's beautiful bread that they bake themselves. And then she likes the smoked salmon avocado toast at Publicus. So those are two big recommendations if you're an avocado.
Does she get the egg on them?
No.
Okay.
But I know they do serve it like that. But she just likes the toast with either avocado, and salmon. So that's great. Went to Le Club again, just because we'd eaten at Hiro Yoshi Sushi, and we were still hungry. Now that happens sometimes with sushi because we ate a lot of sashimi. The sashimi platter there is $100 for 4 people, and it's beautiful. Some of the best fish. Hiro Yoshi, zero social media presence. You can't even
It's right up on Charleston,
West
right?
Charleston near Jones. You can't even reserve like an open table. You have to call them to reserve, and they've gotten so successful now. They don't take any walk-ins, and you have to call them the night they're open to reserve a table, and they book up very fast. They're open 5 nights a week. I think they're closed Monday, Tuesday. And they have seatings like at 5 and 7. And we ate their sashimi platter, which is great, and the appetizers. Get the appetizer, the mixed appetizers there. And it changes all the time depending on what Chef Hiro does. But it's just a gem of a local Japanese restaurant, off the beaten track. Not anywhere that's a big foodie area, but the sushi hounds have discovered it, and Sushi Hiro Yoshi, not Sushi Hero. That's in Henderson. This is Hiro Yoshi. And it's kind of hard to find. You have to sort of look it up and call them.
Yeah,
and then go there.
Because I think
It's
when you're
great.
driving on Charleston, if you look over, you'll just see a sign that says
Sushi. That's it. And you go in, and it only seats like 35 people in the place. So we ate there, had the sashimi, and we were with a couple, and we decided to go meet another couple at Le Club. And I got there, and we walked in. We were just going to have a glass of champagne, and then I saw one of those little mini burgers come out. And it's this tiny mini burger.
You're a little burger slut in the making.
It's on that cream puff bun.
Yep.
And then it has a big slab of foie gras in there with the secret sauce. And it's only the size of the size of a tennis ball, the whole thing, not even like this big. And it's just ethereally good. I think it's the best mini burger in Las Vegas.
Best slider in Las Vegas.
Best mini slider. It's not really a slider because it's pretty thick. It's about the size of a 50-cent piece, but it's thicker. It's not a thin little patty.
I always thought slider just meant like smaller around.
No, a true slider is kind of smashed.
Oh, you're going White Castle.
Yeah, White Castle.
Okay.
That's how they got there because it's a thin patty. So this is a thicker patty at Le Club by Partage. So then we went to Summerlin Whole Foods. This is not a restaurant. We're very bummed, the food gal and I, that they moved another 4 miles west out to downtown Summerlin, which is neither a town nor downtown of anything. Just to remind you. And we went there and we're underwhelmed. It's just huge. It's confusing. It's way bigger than the old one. It's way more cut up than the old one. The prices are higher, and the cheese selection still sucks. It just has, there's nothing that good about it, whether it's seafood, meat, vegetables, but except the only thing extraordinary about it are the prices and all the women in yoga pants walking around. Okay,
you actually have to wear yoga pants as a woman to get in there.
Literally, I think it's a rule. Okay, you've got, and you have to have that. The way women have walking with the purse a certain way with the yoga pants.
With all their Stanley mugs
and the Stanley mug and the purse. Yeah, it's a certified vibe. Okay, and
No, you call it a scene. That's a scene.
That's just a scene, and I'm sorry. We wanted to see it, and we're gonna go. We go to the little Whole Foods up on Lake Mead. Near Desert Shores. That's where we go. That one up there. So we like
Why do
that.
you stop at Sprouts?
Sprouts, yeah, I don't know. It's Whole Foods. Don't get that could be my pet peeve. I don't want to talk about it. Just I was in there for a while, and I got the same vibes I get in like Walmart and Costco's. It's huge. You're confused.
It's owned by Amazon. What did you expect?
And you're suddenly like intimidated, and you feel uncomfortable because it's at a scale that human beings are not supposed to shop at. Okay,
Yes.
And it's just where's this, where's that? Oh, we have to take the cart and go 100 yards over there to find the blueberries that we want. So anyway, and I saved the worst for last.
Thank you.
So if you tune into CityCast, friend of the show, CityCast people, David Figler, and
Did they let you do a show with Figler?
Sarah Lohman,
Oh.
and Sarah Lohman,
Oh, okay.
and they had me on talking about Italian restaurants, and they want to talk about new versus old Italian restaurants. So
Okay.
Figler and I, just for fun, grins and giggles, decided to take our significant others and go to Battista's Hole in the Wall. Okay.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
I'm no stranger to Battista's. I have eaten there many times over the decades, but it had been years. And before I get to my conclusions, it's amazing. I mean, when I put something on my Twitter feed, generally I'll get, maybe a few dozen likes or something. I might get, where it says how many people look at it. I'm lucky if I get 500, 1,000, sometimes 1,000,
Yeah.
sometimes 2,000, 1,200. That's kind of normal. At last count, 60,000 people.
Shut up.
And all I did was put a picture, 3 pictures of Battista's and said, I'm here, let the jokes write themselves. And I got 60,000 views. I think it was 58,000 views on for putting that on, and hundreds of comments. I love it. It's great. It's the best. No, it sucks. It hasn't been good in years. Oh my God, the worst meal in
The
town.
wine, the free wine.
The free wine. Well, I mean, let's get to the nitty gritty, and I'll try to be brief. Not my brand exactly. But there's just something so down market about it. But it's packed, and as I'm sitting there eating, I'm thinking to myself, when it was empty when we got there. We got there right when it opened. When we left, there must have been 50 people at the bar, 3 dozen people waiting for tables, and every table packed in the place. And I kept thinking to myself as I'm eating the food, the fact that this place not only survives but thrives with food this mediocre is just astounding to me.
What do you think it is?
Well, the food gal and I talked about it a lot, and I talk about it on CityCast. You can hear me on CityCast with David. I think people just got so, and Sarah Lohman points this out, this is the kind of food people grew up with in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was the original Italian food in town. It was
Red
baked
saucy.
ziti. It was red saucy. It was mozzarella cheese. It was melted cheese. It was lots of noodles, lots of sauce, zero finesse.
Lots of that like pre-grated Parmesan.
Exactly. And people developed a taste for that in the same way. The food gal said to me, it's the same way you can make fresh cranberry sauce for people and they'll want it out of a can, ocean spray can.
Good.
And she's right. People have a taste for this junk, even though it's terrible. And I mean, as I said to David, he said, well, you were having a good time. I did have a good time. And I said, the positive thing is the vibe is kitschy.
You're shit-faced by now.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that.
It is kitschy as hell, but I love the interior, and that hasn't changed since 1970. It's got all the menu is on the wall, the pictures, the old Italian stuff. So the interior, the decor is a lot of fun. The service was really good.
I was gonna ask.
Very nice. But then the food shows up, and it's just stupefyingly bad. I mean, the veal marsala, it was marsala. I was searching for a hint of marsala wine in it. The garlic bread has no garlic. The clams, the cappuccino that's supposed to be the coffee dessert has no coffee in it. The wine, the unlimited
all
wine,
muted.
The unlimited wine, they give you a big carafe of red and white wine, has no alcohol in it. I said that because I remember that from like 7-8 years ago. I said to David and his wife, let's start drinking this and see if we can. You can't get drunk on it. You can't even catch a buzz on this stuff.
We should take the podcast on the road, and we're just going to record until one of us starts to slur our words.
I swear, here's what I think they do. I think they buy bulk wine, they simmer it until they simmer off all the alcohol, they pour it into the carafes, they chill it, and they give it to you. Because it is unlimited. You can
or they just dilute it with water.
Well, yeah, they could do that. Yeah. But the food gal, who's no wino, but she took a sip of the red and she said, well, it just tastes like grape juice. It has none of that structure, that little bite, that little mouth puckering bite that all alcohol gives you, whether it's a beer or vodka or anything in between. It has none of that. So it's like it's alcohol-free wine, but it's, bad food and lots of it.
Interesting. I'm going to have to go.
The portions are huge. The portions are huge. And as David Figler said, it gives the illusion of value because you will fill up. I mean, the clams had to be a pound of linguine.
Wow.
With lots of chopped clams on it, and then the white clam sauce, which I kept, just tasted like milk. It looked like they basically just poured
Okay,
warm.
was there one dish that you were like, okay,
The minestrone soup to start the meal
okay.
was decent. It was actually pretty decent. And I said that was the highlight of the meal. It was the first thing. The garlic bread is garlic free. I mean, it has specks of things that resemble garlic but have no garlic flavor.
bring your own
See,
garlic.
Lakin is shaking her head. She knows what I'm talking about. But people love it. So what am I to say? So anyway, go to Batista's at your own risk.
Go for the fun. Go for the vibes.
Go
Go
for
for
the
the
vibe.
scene.
Exactly.
Don't go for the food.
Yeah, and
or to get buzzed on free table wine.
And they do have a wine list, and some of the wines on the wine list are very reasonably priced. So if you go to there with the right attitude, you can have a good time. But it's the anti-carbone because it may be a tourist trap, but at least they're not hosing you. They're not taking
Yeah.
advantage with you
Okay.
of you, even if they're just making it on reputation. Yeah.
Interesting. So I should go there.
Since 1970. Yeah.
So I should go.
You should go, but I'm not going with you. I've gone there for the last time.
Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I was.
Oh, wait, what about Chicago Joe's?
Well, that's even worse.
Did you go there on this little quest
No.
of Italian?
I don't want to go to. I no. Did I say it's even worse? No. I admitted on CityCast, Chicago Joe's cooks at a higher level than Batista's does. Batista's just a cattle call, but Chicago Joe's makes dishes to order. They don't serve you a pound of industrial noodles with every dish. So yeah, I'd rather go to Chicago Joe's with you. You could get me there. But you can
You
never
guys heard it here.
You never get me back to
heard it here.
Batista's.
He said I could get him to Chicago Joe's and Hogs and Heifers.
Yeah.
Maybe all in the same night. All in the same night.
But again, I hate to sound like a pro. I'm still astounded by all I did was post a picture of Batista's and the food gal
It's
said,
polarizing.
Yeah, because it's been around since 1970. I make it the third oldest restaurant in Las Vegas after Bob Taylor's Ranch House and the Golden Steer. And so it is iconic. It's truly iconic, even if the food is mid.
Sus.
Sus. Yeah. Wait, and one more thing. You got to look at my clams. So there's a bucket of chopped clams on, which are nice, but then they're supposed to have chopped parsley. They had this green stuff on the top. We couldn't make out what it was.
Wait, I'm
it
gonna
was
pull it up.
was not chopped parsley. It looked like chopped kale. Or
Stop.
Or yeah. Look at the chopped parsley.
Where'd you post this? Is it Twitter or Instagram?
Oh,
Twitter? Oh.
yeah. See that?
Oh, it looks like cilantro.
It's not cilantro. Look at how it's got a thick rib in
Yeah.
it. I thought it might be romaine lettuce or something. It was definitely not parsley, Italian or curly. Okay, and it had no flavor. It was a bland flavor.
Ugh.
So all you could say it was
Okay,
cheap.
if you had to revamp a restaurant, would you rather go back and take over Piero's or Batista's?
But Piero's. Piero's could be a really good restaurant.
Okay.
Batista's is always going to be what it is until they close the doors. You can't change that. It's just going to be what it is. And little Gordy's gone, the little accordion guy that you don't know. They had this little guy who's like 5 feet tall.
A victim of COVID?
No, he was like 100 years old in 1990. Okay, but everybody loved this guy because he came around. And you gave him $2 and he played, Ol Sole Mio on the accordion. So he's gone. But if it's your thing, go there, folks. But don't try to get drunk on the unlimited house wine.
Okay.
Forewarning.
I am still processing. I'll have to go. I have to do it. We'll call it research. So where did I go? I've been kind of eating a lot at home. Even made my homemade pasta. I don't know if I mentioned that on the show. I made pasta. So John's struggling. We've got video of this.
I know.
He's trying to be stealth. And
I know.
He's choking on his water over there. Okay, so this week we went to La Mai. I have to say, it's probably one of my favorite Thai spots around town right now. They redid the interior of the one on Spring Mountain Road a few months back. It's really nice. So if you want Lotus, but you don't want the hassle of trying to get a reservation or Red Rock,
go to La Mai.
Go to La Mai. Also, the wine list is impressive.
Yeah,
they have like sine qua non on their wine list.
Yeah.
Silly.
And they've got all these really fine German Rieslings and Austrian and Gruners on there that at very reasonable prices. Yeah. So.
And my recommendations are for what to order: the cow soy, the garlic prawns, the gà in the pork belly is really good, and then also the crispy duck Penang.
I like the thing called kuagling there. Kuagling. It's basically like it's a larb. It's
Okay.
like really finely diced up pork.
Yeah.
With the incendiary chilies on it. And they will look at you and go, "How hot do you want it, sir?"
And you're a medium?
You just say medium. Do not go above medium. I mean, it's medium will.
What's it called?
Kuagling. Kuagling.
Gling. Okay.
It's a form of larb. And so but it's usually on the menu there. But it's one of my favorite things to get there. And the cow soy is tremendous there.
Oh, it's incredible. So I'm going to try and be better about highlighting what I recommend ordering. And rather than go through a bunch of places, let me just go back to Pepper Club. I've talked about them a ton recently. And I think the must order for your table is the chicken parm. They do the chicken parm for two. If you've got 4 people, get the chicken parm for 2 and even another order for 1. It's so good.
And
share it.
And the lasagna.
Yes. And it comes with the chicken parm comes with a side of like rigatoni and a red sauce.
Right.
Then also the stracciatella bread service with the garlic and cheese. That's incredible to start. I like the chopped salad, just some greens, and then of course, like you said, John, the lasagna is to die for.
And they do a nice carpaccio there too.
Yes,
Very nice carpaccio.
yeah.
So,
I mean, I think that menu right now is, I've said it time and time again right now, it's one of my favorites to enjoy. So.
and the lunch is getting better, and they were good business at lunch. And you know the lady who owns it, Weena, she's going to be building a giant high rise right across the street from the English Hotel.
Yeah, that's what Midtown is.
Yeah, Midtown
So-
is going to be this big complex.
Yeah, and that's why I think you're seeing a lot of bars be much more comfortable opening on the north side of Charleston because they know there's going to be condos, and that's what Midtown is. It's going to be this like live, work, everything concept.
All these places are going to be cool when I'm completely too old to enjoy them.
I'll take you out. Don't worry.
I know.
We'll put you in a scooter,
in a wheelchair,
a little scooter.
Give my with a little oxygen right here. Wheel me in. That's me. Okay.
And he'll still be grumpy as ever.
Okay.
You might get worse.
Okay, let's get to
Pet peeves. Oh,
no, let's
go
get
to
to
yes.
peeves.
Okay. YouTube video comments
Let's get a couple.
from Greg McDougland. 2397. Your show is very good until this episode. I'm sorry, but all of you were very princess-like today. It happens, Greg. It happens.
Yeah.
I get you all like the higher-end places, but to talk shit about the establishments that aren't up to your standards is just too much.
What?
I think it was the Hogs and Halves.
And but Hogs and Halves isn't even a restaurant. It's just a shitty, dumb bar.
And he's doubling down.
Okay, I swear to God, he has to be a Hogs and Heifers man. And we don't talk shit about mom and pops that much. No, we don't. Big strip wrestler, big ones are fair game, but the little ones, we may say we had a bad meal there, but I don't think
I barely even do that.
Yeah,
if I go to a mom and pop, I won't mention it because I'm like, they're dealing with Yelp. They've got worse to deal with than little old me just piping off.
So anyway, that's our brand, Greg. Sorry. Okay, so Eureka, though. Eureka. Somebody said Eureka. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, too. I mean, why you would go to that place? I thought
I thought of this after. You went to Buffalo Wild Wings. Why do you get to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and I can't go to Eureka?
Yeah.
Double standard. So
Okay,
leave it alone.
All right, fine.
Okay, this one, at my sorrow. Bummer, I tuned in for John's Italy recap since I'm leaving this Sunday for Northern Italy. Culinaris interruptus. From the Alps next week before I hit Milano, Florence, and Cinque Terre.
Should I give him a few now?
Yeah, throw them down.
Oh, God. Langosteria in Milan. The seafood in Milan is surprisingly good. And dal bolognese in Milan, which was one of the best meals I had with, the risotto. What you get in Milan is risotto. And Krakow Cafe, Cracco, right in the Galleria Vito Emanuele II, the Krakow Cafe, had this. You know what a saffron risotto looks like, until you have it in northern Italy, and it's the color of the sun. It's so bright. I mean, it's
great.
just just knocks you out. Here, when you get a risotto, saffron risotto anywhere but there, it's always just like a pale yellow. It's like barely like a lemon juice. But this is great there. So those are 3 right there, and you can always DM me directly, me Sorrow, and I'll send you some more of my tips.
Greg again. We love Thai. We've always gone to Lotus of Siam. This trip we have a reservation at Weira Thai. Should we be switching to Lamai?
I say yes.
I say yes.
I like Weira Thai, but it's a little gringo-ish. And Lamai, I think, is a little more authentic. And as you say, a better wine and booze program there.
Yeah, and the interior's really nice.
Yeah,
it's
Lamai's
intimate.
great,
I'd go Lamai. I love burgers, but for lunch, I don't think I could order a burger at a high-end steakhouse. For supper, for me, it cheapens the experience. Hopefully that doesn't come across the wrong way.
Yeah, you're sounding like a snob there, Greg.
Yeah, a little princessy, Greg.
Come on. Come on. Let you catch the first stone here, okay?
I think that's what started it for me. I was getting tired of being fussy at steakhouses, and I saw a burger at Bavet's on their menu, and I said, thank God. I want to just...
Yeah.
It's already... Like, it's a business meal. It's already enough obligation and pomp and circumstance with the waiter, the sommelier, like all of these things. So that's what I loved about it. It kind of just tunes down the meal.
Good point. And and sometimes you don't want a giant slab of steer muscle. 8 ounces of good burger meat is all the meat cholesterol you need to have. Yeah. So, all right. So from listener John, greetings, John. We've been enjoying your podcast successes and commentary from overseas. Well, that's all. That's really neat. Yes, this fellow's from Portugal.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, how about that? We have a Portuguese fan. That's great. We're international.
Yeah.
We're big in Belgium. Okay. Full of downturn. He wanted to know about, and he sent me something from Fringe Fries. This essay, which suffered from needing an editor. It went on and on and on, but he went on and on about the influence, this Fringe Fries.
But the struggling of Vegas and whether it's going to come back, right?
Yeah, and what fringefries.com says is all about the overcharging, the influencer economy, the people that don't know, what's real and what's bought and paid for, all of which is very valid comments. I don't know about this I don't know where this is, this certain zeitgeist that they're talking about with the downturn of Vegas. Is this just a mob? Is it real? Is it a mob mentality? Is it just piling on? Yeah, I heard that their tourism is down 8%. Tourism is always down in the summertime, and it will continue to go down for the next couple months. But yeah, it's easy.
They're doing year over year. They're not just looking like month to month.
Yeah,
they're going year over year.
Yeah,
we're
good,
down
yes,
8%.
right.
So that's the concern. And I'll just say it. I think Vegas is hostage to unions, and they have to charge these prices. I mean, what was it? I saw a post from Vital Vegas. Buddy V's is charging $60 for one pizza. $60 for a pizza.
Right.
That's delusional. That's absolutely delusional.
I don't know if I can blame the unions for all of that. I think it's just gouging sometimes. Okay, there's probably plenty of blame to go around. Okay, but I think the popular narrative is that Vegas now for the last couple of years has been gouging the hell out of people, and there's now the blowback is less and less tourism. And I don't know if it's true, but I know a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah, I think I think the charade is up. It's kind of much more like Disneyland. Everyone knew they would show up to Disneyland and have to take out a second mortgage on their home for their family of four to go enjoy a day.
That wasn't true in 1993, though, by the way.
Well, no, but I know since the 2000s, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think now everyone's realizing Vegas is the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
It's just gambling and adults.
Yeah, adults. And yeah.
And also there's just more corporate credit cards floating around that don't care.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's why they get away with it.
they get away. The conventions let them get away with murder because you have a captive audience of 20,000 people,
Yeah.
and they have to spend. Yes, so love that French fries. I don't know. It's funny that French fries article mentions me as the curmudgeonly, opinionated guy.
They listen.
Yeah, and but he writes this blog anonymously. It's interesting. I don't know who it is. If I ever find out, I'll buy him a glass of wine. Okay, from Matt B. How does Delmonico's burger stand compared to Jive Turkey? Apples and oranges, Matt B. Delmonico's is much steakier. I mean, Jive Turkey is a great bar burger.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the pedigree that the Delmonico burger has.
Yeah, if you're gonna do comparisons, you have to look at Delmonico versus like a Nico's or a Bavette's. You can't take Delmonico's and throw it against Jive Turkey. Jive Turkey compared to Stay Tuned or Yukon or something like that, that's fair.
And
so
all three are great, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want, actually, those three, I wouldn't want to try to determine which one I like, because it would be like, it'd be like having sex with multiple women. I would just love the last one I was with. Did I say that? Didn't come out right? Maybe we.
Food Gal, tune out.
No, you know. But I just, okay.
Okay,
It's
moving along.
Recency bias.
Chris H. Great show. I don't think I've missed a single episode, even though I live in Thailand. Phuket, Thailand.
So we're big in Thailand too.
Hell
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just wondering two things I might have missed. What temp do you order the burgers? Do we all do the same? I guess medium rare or maybe medium. I guess individually judging, it wouldn't make a difference. How does splitting a single burger work? Or do you just say, make it the house makes it? I always choose medium rare.
Me too.
And that's because that's my preference. I'm setting them up for success. It's how I want my burger prepared. I know I post photos all the time of a cross section of my steakhouse burgers, and people are like, "That thing's still mooing. Cook it." And I'm like, I chose this
Because that's when the beef shows itself best. Yes.
So I go medium rare.
Me too. I sometimes will say in a place like May Dailies, just to have fun with the waiter, I'm assuming your chef knows how to cook a burger.
Ooh, saucy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, basically, if you're a true fan of Burger Hound, you like them rare to medium rare. You want to be able to taste the beef, and the more cooked,
juice,
the more cooked and dried out it gets, the less you really enjoy the meat. That's the way it goes.
And then if I'm splitting a burger, I am a kind soul, and if who I'm with wants it medium, I will acquiesce and I will do it. I'm not going to order a separate one.
Remember when I ate around the edges of your...
Oh, yeah, he's Jive Turkey. Yeah, I invite this guy to Jive Turkey, meet him there. I order a burger, and he's like, I'm not going to eat anything. And then next thing you know, he's corn cobbing around my cheeseburger. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I ate around 3/4 of the outside of it.
All the crisp stuff gone. There's a little mouse over
then
there.
I handed it back to you and said, here it is.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
And then Chris H. asked a second question. I feel like I heard a lot about the toppings, but was there a difference in burger styles? Flatter, thicker, flame grilled, pan fried, or even oven baked?
Yeah, well, we talked about that a lot, Chris. We did. Yeah, because most of what we have, we're talking about generally, they're all griddled at some point. Grilled, and there's thinner or thick patties, May Dailies.
Peter Luger.
And Peter Luger, and 2 double doubles with thicker double patties, Nico's and what am I missing?
Bavettes?
Bavettes and Delmonico. Delmonico. Yeah, so there's very different. Those 2 styles are our final 4, but those, and I think we tended to gravitate towards the thicker burgers again because I think the meat tastes the best if you have more meat and it's cooked to a medium rare and not dried out in a thin patty.
And I don't think any of these were like charbroiled or flame grilled.
No,
I don't think.
I think they're all cooked on a real hot griddle.
Yes.
Yeah. Which caramelizes the exterior very nicely. Yeah.
Bonus question. If you could assemble parts from multiple places like best bun, best meat, best cheese, lettuce, tomato, onions. Oof.
Whoa.
I don't think I could do that. I think...
The sauce at Delmonico knocked me out, okay? Yeah. And who had the best bun?
Delmonico.
Delmonico had a great bun, too. Yeah, but the meat at May Dailies really got impressed me a lot, too.
Yeah, I'd maybe...
And Luger, of course, I always loved the meat at Peter Luger.
But I wouldn't add anything to Luger's burger, like the simplicity. So I don't know. I don't think I would change anything. Maybe like I'd swap a bun out here and there just to see what it's like. But I don't think I could really make these any better, like a better iteration.
Yeah, and we all agree we would deep six the onion jam. Okay?
Oh yeah,
Any
place with an onion jam.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Tyler D, thank you for the reminder. Yes, a lot of properties, Caesars, MGM, Venetian, Wynn, offer 3 hours free parking for locals.
And Fontainebleau.
And so does Fontainebleau. So thank you for that. David K, our reg, David K loves wild fig. Glad to hear it. And I think that's about.
Oh, no. David also, he went to Main Street Provisions after watching our Unstripped event video, which was a lot of fun, John. Did you watch that?
Yes, I did. You wandered around interviewing chefs.
Yeah.
It was great.
How'd we do?
You did fine. You needed, of course, the spark of yours truly there, but I mean...
I think the chefs let their guard down a little more without you there.
It's like, oh, what is this asshole going to say next? No, everybody was super gracious, and it was a lot of fun. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yes.
Vegas Unstripped. Can't wait to go next year, and I will be there with my.
Sabering might be on. Sabering might be axed. That might
be okay. Yeah, okay.
We might need a net.
I got my own sword. I have my own swords. I have my own sabering swords.
We'll do a video from your backyard and we'll play it.
I think that's about pet peeves real quick.
Okay, mine. Wobbly tables. If I come into at a real place with a fork and knife, and I wobble the table, that's going to piss me off so much. And all it really takes is one person to walk by through the restaurant and just touch the corners just make sure that they don't wobble.
Yeah. Don't you really appreciate it though when the staff goes out of their way to get down there and try it? We came across that twice in Italy, and both times the owner, one time the woman was a nice middle-aged lady. She's down on her knees trying to
because they're used to it, the cobblestones and having to pack them up every night.
The tables are all sitting like this anyway. Yeah, so that's a good pet peeve.
Wobbly tables.
Yeah, I mean, and it's almost inexcusable too because nobody likes it. It interferes with the whole meal. I can't wait to get to mine.
It's all you. Take the floor is yours.
Okay, this is it, You think you're fooling me, guys, but you're not. I'm wise to you, bartenders. My pet peeve of the week is small cocktails, small, weak cocktails. Ooh. And you think you're getting away with murder here, and you are, because what's happened in the last 5 years is cocktails are getting smaller and smaller, and the booze is getting less and less, while the price is getting more and more. Mm-hmm. Okay,
shrinkflation.
It's shrinkflation, and don't for 1 minute think I haven't noticed. And some of these are some of my favorite cocktail bars, but I'm not even a booze hound anymore. I mean, I used to drink a lot of cocktails, but you get to a certain age, and I like weaker drinks. But I'll still go to a vaunted cocktail bar and get one, and I'm realizing I'll have 2 drinks, 3 drinks, and going, where's the frickin' booze? Okay, and then I asked again the friend of the show, Kathy, who used to be a bartender at the Cosmopolitan. She said what they're doing with a lot of these mixology drinks, besides them being smaller in smaller vessels. Mm-hmm. She says a lot of them, the old cocktails were 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces of hard booze, whiskey,
it's
gin.
All mixed.
Now it's 1.5 ounces of booze, but half of that is some kind of liqueur, which is half the strength of the vodka might be, or the whiskey would be in the drink. And as a result, she goes, you're getting like a 50% less booze. And I don't drink to get drunk. I haven't drank to get drunk in 15, 20 years, but still I'm noticing it, and it's if cocktails have alcohol in them for a reason, and when a guy at my age can have 3 and walk out barely buzzed and not at all, then you're kind of taking advantage of people here, and I've noticed, and I wonder if there's any kind of pushback from other people, because the days of the good old vodka, cranberry juice, whiskey, sour, where you could actually get drunk on 3 drinks, they're gone. You can drink 5 of these drinks, pay $100, and walk out and drive your car and be perfectly safe, which I guess is a good thing for everybody, but the guy who maybe wants to catch a little dizziness.
I had a friend in town who was waiting for me at a restaurant at the bar, ordered himself a drink, sitting there, and I think it was like a vodka soda, so simple drink. Then we get seated at our table. Orders before the original drink is done, says I'll take another because it's busy Friday night. The next one comes, he tries it, and he goes, there's no alcohol in this. And so I did a side by side, and the one that you would think would be diluted because it had been there for a while was stronger than the new one that was delivered to the table. And so he's a restaurant guy, so he sent it back. And he goes, I'm not like, this is just not a vodka soda. There's not the right proportions.
Was the booze out of a gun or something? Or
No.
were they poured out of a bottle?
No, they just shorted him. They're just
just
shorted. They're making him weak.
Okay, yeah. And the other trick, of course, is the giant ice cube, which takes up 90% of the glass, so they can pour a small amount of booze around it, and it fills up the side, but you're getting like an ounce of liquor.
True.
So I mean,
there's a New York Post article I tweeted about. They're actually creating mini cocktail menus because people don't want to get drunk. So rather than, you're talking about the charade of serving a full-size cocktail that doesn't have the strength that it should, or
and it's also $25.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is some kind of new phenomenon where they're actually just serving these like mini drinks because people don't want to get drunk, and I think that's bullshit too.
Yeah. So don't drink booze. I mean, you can get some fruit juice.
Yeah. Drink half of your drink.
Exactly.
Have self-control.
Exactly.
Put the bag of chips away.
Exactly.
God.
Just don't finish the damn.
It's not that hard.
No, I want a twee little glass with just the right proportions in it. This is I blame Gen Z for all this shit.
Yes, Lakin's fault again.
Give me a martini in a glass the size of a bathtub any day.
With a sidecar.
With a sidecar. Yeah.
Oh, it's been fun. This has been a long episode, but we finally cleared out all our backlog on comments. It's been fun, John.
Wow, we've gone over an hour.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Okay, well, good night, Canada, and we'll see you next week. Ciao, Bella.